I heard a lot about your company in recent months, and as we already knew for last year in the Black Sea Oil and Gas Conference, you said, you promised that you will be the first to get out the first gas in the Black Sea. Tell us a little bit about where you are standing right now in the company.
Okay, well, first off, I can answer that first question. We will be the first to get gas out of the Black Sea.
Good for you, good for us.
Yeah, there clearly has been, as I mentioned in the last conference, we have a number of regulatory issues that we have to get through. I mean, these are issues that the regulatory environment doesn't cater for trying to develop a Black Sea development. And so the regulatory environment has to be put in place. So we've been working with the government, and I don't know if you saw last week, a new offshore law has come out of the cabinet and is being put to Parliament. And this is the culmination of over a year and a half of work between the Robusta, the Black Sea Association, and the government, directed by the Prime Minister's office, to go through and find all the little bits and pieces that are stopping a project from being getting its permits, getting through the regulatory process.
I think there were 3 versions of this law in this year. How soon do you believe that this authority will be functional with all the staff employed and everything?
That's a different one. That's the OSD.
Yes.
That's the OSD. And I was talking about an offshore law that just got announced last week, left cabinet and is going to Parliament. And so that one, once it is passed by Parliament in a form that works, then
the one that discusses the royalties?
No, that's a third one. No, so you've got 3 different things. So one's an offshore law that addresses regulatory blockages. This is the one I'm referring to, which is the most important to us. And once it gets through Parliament, we will have a line of sight, a definite line of sight to being able to permit our project for the first time ever. So it's a very big deal. The second one you were talking about was the OSD. That's also a huge development, because in order to have an offshore development, we have to have OSD consent under the EU directives. So the fact that there is a president, he is starting to staff up, EBRD is providing money for them to staff up, is another positive development. And the third one is the royalty law. Well, on that one, our offshore law stabilizes our royalties. So this royalty law actually is for new offshore developments, not for us.
But it's good to know that there will be no changes in existing contracts.
That is the way the law is structured, the offshore law is structured, and we fully support that.
I also heard from EBRD that they are in cooperation with your company in order to finance the project in the Black Sea. Tell us more about the stage where you are with them.
Yeah, we've been discussing with EBRD for some time the idea of them taking an interest, equity interest in the company, in order for them to assist us in getting through the blockages, the issues, the marketing issues that exist in Romania.
Not necessarily for the financing per se.
Not necessarily for the financing per se, because EBRD takes a very specific angle, which is that they are there to support developments, and this is something that they wanted to support. So we have been in discussions with EBRD. I see they've announced on their website that their board has approved the deal. Isn't finished yet, and we haven't completed yet, but that gives an indication how far down the track we have of EBRD taking equity interest in BSOG.
How far are you in the field with working on preparing the place for your operation at the Black Sea?
Yeah, well, this is pre-FID work, so we've done the conceptual engineering, we've done the front-end engineering design, we've done all the appraisal drilling, we've done the offshore surveys. So from a technical point of view, we've pretty well done everything we need to do. All we're doing is waiting to get the project sanctioned. So we're not going to be doing anything more offshore until we actually start to build.
We already talked about 3 different laws that were discussed and are nearly to completion this moment, but there's also the 4th one.
There's a 4th one.
The approval of the Emergency Ordinance 64, 2016. What's your view on this one?
Well, clearly it's not helpful the way it's been structured.
The law to approve this ordinance.
Yes, I mean the idea that it's going to be put on a monopoly platform and that a certain percentage of gas has to be traded on that platform. You know, in order for us to get this project developed, we need to be able to have a single long-term gas buyer. And this is just a normal way of developing an offshore gas field. We need predictability that every day we're going to produce our gas. We have a gas buyer arranged at a certain terms, commercial terms. And so we must have that in place in order to get this project off the ground. This Ordinance 64, it's difficult to know until you see all the details because they're not there yet, but it suggests that might put that whole structure at risk. And so it could be, it could be very, very concerning for our project.
Still optimistic about the project in the Black Sea?
Yes, because every day we are making progress. You know, we talked last year, and from last year to this year, we have made significant progress.
In a very difficult political context in Romania, with many changes in political forces in parliament and the staff at the decision point, and it was that I also saw a well development in the last 12 months, probably the results of the work in the past several years.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a very consistent approach. We've worked together well with our association. Our issues are very clear. It's easy to articulate. It's easy to suggest how, what should be done to fix the problems. So even with, different governments coming in, okay, it's not helpful from an efficiency point of view, but we've never had somebody come in and say, well, we don't agree with you. We see this problem and we don't agree with fixing it. They've always been supportive. It's always been an issue of execution. And for the reasons you say that, once you're ready to execute, maybe the government turns over and you have to start again.
So, optimistic. The first one, the Black Sea, to get the gas. When do you think that will happen?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I'll throw it back to the fact that this offshore law that was passed by the cabinet last week and had been sent to Parliament is vital for determining when we're going to have first gas, when we're going to have FID, and when we're going to have first gas. So the answer to the question is, you go and ask the Parliament when they're going to pass the law, and I can tell you when we're going to have first gas.
Thank you very much. I hope you will find out both the answer to this question before the next edition of Black Sea.
Yeah, me too. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.